I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Flashing red lights, driving at night, windowless ride, feeling alive. Nothing in sight, forever in flight. Follow those lines, we'll make it this time. Blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories that we're making tonight. Oh yeah, we'll make it tonight. Yeah. I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move. I'll go all night if that's just what I gotta do. Life's too short to care about what you can't afford. Memories are in what you explore, so just don't be ignored. Go ask for more, go ask for more. Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive?
Evening.
Hello.
How are you?
All right. How's things?
Oh, good. Hi, everyone in the chat. Got a few there waiting to ask lots of questions. So, what you been up to, Paul?
Oh, busy. And
Busy? Work?
yeah, work. No play, unfortunately.
No
Not eight.
detecting?
No, not this weekend. And I would have loved to have got out, but
Hey, Tom.
Saturday was day with the grandson. Wore me out, as he always does. Which is great fun. Loved that. And then Sunday was a day in the garden, trying to make it look pretty. Trying to make it look pretty. And I do love when it snows and it makes your garden look like everyone else's, so that you can't complain. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so it just hides it.
Yeah. What about yourself? What's been happening? You've been a busy girl.
Yeah, I started doing a Saturday Night Live with Jason, the Dark Knight detectorist. If everyone must know him, everyone knows who he is. So yeah, that was fun. I did go out detecting and found a few artifacts. No coins this time, so that was okay. Can't
Did you
complain.
get anywhere nice? Was it a local one? What is it?
It was quite local, yeah. It was a group dig, and it was just like 15 minutes up the road. So
Another local.
Yeah, love it.
Was it another one attached to your own permission, by any chance?
No, it wasn't attached to my no. Bit further out, but not far away at all. And yeah, this group, they tend to have quite a few which are local. So yeah, I'm loving that at the moment.
Good stuff.
Don't have to drive very far. Hi, Joe.
Yeah, some people getting in now. Look, if we go back to hey, we got someone in from down under. Greetings from down under. It's
Is that
tomorrow,
Neil?
isn't it? Is it tomorrow over there now? It must be. Yeah, so happy tomorrow from Diggers Down Under. And evening, Jackie. Ludicrous Detect, Northern Found. Greetings, sir, to you. Evening, Tom. Great to see you in.
Are you looking on YouTube?
I'm looking down. No, in the studio. Yeah. Yeah. So great to see you, Tom. Well done, mate. Roseanne's in the house. Hello.
Yay!
How you doing? And Michigan Gems. Hello, Joe. Good to see you. Geeka Bleeps. Hello, Sam. How are you? Good to see you in. And Henry. Griff Fines. Good to see you as well. And I'm sure more will pop in. And Rusty. Greetings, Rusty. Good to see you. How are you doing?
It's all good, isn't it?
It is.
So I think, without further ado, our guest is a little bit different tonight. It's not really metal
Been looking
detecting,
forward to this one.
but she is married to a metal detectorist. I think Tom, he's already in the house. So
Tom's already in.
so let's bring her on. Hi, Marie.
Hello, Marie.
Hello.
Greetings.
Hi.
Tom better be there. He'd be in trouble if he wasn't.
Do you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, so for those who don't know me, hi, my name's Marie, as it says on my running vest. I am married to Tom, who is Treasure Hunting with Tom, who you probably do know. And I'm 37. I live in the South Lakes, which we've just moved to recently, with our two dogs, Hawkeye and Sirius. And I basically have got a passion for being outside, walking, hiking, running, trail running especially. Yeah, and that's pretty much me. And as Tom said, I'm a bit different. I'm a bit I like bright things, bright colours. I like anything geeky, and yeah, I will go with that actually. That I'm a bit different.
The best way to be, I reckon.
Yeah.
So I discovered your channel just by chance by watching one of Tom's. I wasn't actually in his giveaway, but I was just catching up with people as you do, because when you subscribe to loads of people, you know you can never watch them all.
Yeah.
So, and then he gave your channel a shout out, and I was like, oh, what's all this then? And then had a little watch, and I was like, oh my God, Paul, I've got a new girl crush. This girl is amazing. We've got to have her on the show. So, can you tell us a little bit about your trail running and, you know, what got you started, how long you've been doing it?
Yeah.
You have sent me a picture, so I've seen you have got loads of medals.
Yeah. You see them in which way do I need to move? You can see them in the background actually. But yeah, so I used to run when I was a kid, as everybody does, I'm sure. But then when you become an adult and realize that you don't have to run because it's not, you don't. I sort of stopped. But I started again in about 2015. I lived in Manchester, which is in Cambridgeshire. And they had a local running club, which was a little bit different to some running clubs, because a lot of running clubs you sort of have to sign up for and pay for, and it's all a bit sort of pressure, and there's training sessions and things like that. Whereas this was literally just a couple of people from the town had set it up. They met every Wednesday and Sunday, and it was very relaxed. They'd go for cake afterwards, and you know, everybody was very encouraging. And I was like, okay, so that's no pressure. So even if I'm rubbish, I can just go, because I thought I want to get a little bit fitter, but I hate going to the gym.
Yep.
I've got asthma, so I know that doing activity, or at least to start with, would be really hard, but I knew it would help me in the long run. So I was like, right, I need to do something. So I went along to this running club, and yeah, I started off like hardly running at all. I couldn't even do a mile. I was like dying. But you just do a little bit more each week. And like I said, these people were really encouraging. If anybody does live around the local area, go Manchester Running Club. Doesn't cost you anything. They're a Facebook group. They're brilliant. Just such a nice group of people. And I just sort of went along, kept going and kept going. But I did find that I would then be a bit of a fair weather runner to begin with. So when it got to winter, I wouldn't necessarily continue doing it the whole time, because it was really cold and, you know,
Yeah.
raining and things like that. And then also actually in the peak of summer, I would stop doing it because it's really hot. And trying to run in 30 degrees is actually really hard, especially when, like me, you know, you're a little bit overweight and you're not necessarily, you know, at the time I wasn't really comfortable wearing shorts and vests and things. So I was like leggings and like bigger tops. So I was like, oh, I can't do that. But eventually, what people don't tell you when you do start getting into running and stuff is that it kind of becomes a bit of an obsession, and you will want to do it more. It's
So I
like
guess,
a
is it
happy
because you
drug.
get like, yeah, I was going to say, is it because
Yeah,
you get a bit of an adrenaline buzz,
you
and
do.
they say you get like a happy drug, the
Happy
endorphins, and
endorphins. Yeah.
yeah,
You can feel rubbish. You can have a really bad day, and you cannot want to go out at all. But if you get yourself out the door by the end of that run, you will be like, okay, that was worth it. I feel good now. I feel good that I've done it. And it's just really enjoyable. So that was how I started. and I would do just like road running, and I signed up for a couple of races, just local 10Ks and things, just to have something to aim for, to maybe keep me going through them periods where I would not train because of the weather or whatever. So I found having something to sign up for made me okay. So I'll keep running now because I've got something to sign up for. And literally then in 2019, there was an offer at work to join the team to run the London Marathon for the charity that they were supporting at the time, which was Children with Cancer.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, bear in mind at this time, the furthest I'd run was 10K, which is 6 miles, and a marathon is 26.2 miles.
Wow.
And I was like, but it's London Marathon. And you can ask any, and even non-runners will know that London Marathon is like the one to do if you want to do, it's really hard to get into though. So it's like a bucket list for people. So I thought this could be my one and only chance of ever running the London Marathon. And I was like, oh, but I don't know if I can do it. So I spoke to a couple of the guys at the running club, who are my friends, and I said, do you think I can do it? I'm the first to say it, I'm slower. There's no beating around the bush with this. I am slow. I'm not quick. Some people will go, oh, I'm slow, and then they'll run like 9-minute miles and 10-minute miles. And I'm like, please, that's me being quick. You've got no idea. I'm slower. I don't care. Like, I've got asthma. I've got bad lung capacity. I don't care. But so I was like, can I do it? And I said to these guys, can I do it? And they went, yes, of course you can. You've got plenty of time to train. You know how to run. You enjoy it. You just have to have the dedication to do the training. Of course you can do it. We think you can do it. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna sign up for it. Never do it. Having at that point, like I say, never run anything over a 10K. So that was it. I signed up and I did it. And I was like,
so what was the training plan like for that?
So
I imagine that you have to sort of like gradually build up the distance.
Yes. So thankfully, when I did sign up for my first marathon, I had a lot of time. So I think I signed up for it in the October, and it wasn't then until the end of March that the actual marathon was. So I had quite a few months to do it. Normal training plans only like 16 to 20 weeks. I had a lot longer than that, which was good for me because I was obviously starting from a lot less. But yes, the idea of the training plan is that you don't increase your amount you're running by any more than 10% week on week. That every 3 to 4 weeks you have a cutback week, so where you drop the mileage a bit to give your body time to recover, because recovery is just as important as doing the actual running in the first place.
Yeah.
And all things like that. So it did actually give me that time to do that. To have, I signed up for a half marathon race in between, so that I had a milestone to hit in between, and I could practice, what I wanted to wear, what I wanted to consume during the race and things like that. So I could practice all those race day things. But it went really well, and I enjoyed it. And then that was kind of me. I got the buzz. London Marathon is one of the best things that will ever happen. I mean, it was just one of the best days of my life. It is that good. It is up there with your wedding day and everything. It is that good. It's such a buzz. I would say anybody ever gets a chance to do it, don't doubt yourself. Just do it. You can absolutely do it. It's the best day. And that was kind of me hooked after that. There was no going back after that one.
So that's more like, the London Marathon is like a road run.
Yeah.
And now you're doing like trails, so it's cross country, Yeah,
I made a switch. Yeah. So I did kind of stick to road running for a while, because it's kind of what you get into first, because that's what you see on telly. You see, the track athletes, the road athletes, that's what you kind of are more exposed to. And it's easier accessible as well for a lot of people, depending on where you live as well. Everybody's got a path or a road they can run on, whereas not everybody's right next to some trails. But once I'd done a marathon, and obviously, and I wanted to then take the next step and do something else for charity, which we'll talk about later, if I wanted to get into the charity. But I wanted to do the next step. The next step was to go on an ultramarathon. Now, a lot of ultramarathons are then trails, so I was like, okay, I want to do this ultramarathon, so I've got to try out trails, which I've never really done before. And I can't even explain that from the first trail run that I went on, I was like, why have I not been doing this the whole time?
So did you do it on your own?
Yeah,
so the first one you did on your own?
Just a little trail run. I actually went, so Tom has got really good permissions for his metal detecting in Cambridgeshire, and he's got some on like some farmers' fields and things, and he knows that there was like some routes round the fields, and I was like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to go with someone because I always feel pressure when I run with other people to start with because I'm a bit slower and things. I'm like, oh, they're going to be like, you know,
Yeah.
having to slow down for me and stuff. So I prefer to go on my own, but I also didn't want to be like in the middle of nowhere the first time on my own. So what I said was, right, next time you go out, I'm going to come with you to when you go to this particular field. I'm going to come with you, and then I'm just going to run the routes round where you're metal detecting, so that you're sort of nearby, that if I get, you know, stuck or whatever, I know I can give him a call and, you know, he can pick me up or something, but I'm still sort of just doing my thing. And yeah, that was it. I was literally hooked on trails from that first run, because it's really freeing to do trails compared to road. With road, I think people get really hooked up on times and pace and, you know, all these things, whereas you can't really do that on trails because you've got to be a bit more lax with it, because you're going up hills and you're stepping over stiles and there's roots and trees, and like you can't keep this constant pace. You've got to be up and down, and there's different things, and just the scenery, you know, you're not running on a road next to some cars, you're out and there's trees and beautiful things to look at. So that was it. I was then like, I don't really want to run on roads anymore. I want to stick on the trails.
That's kind of how I got hooked on your videos, is because of the scenery. It's
Yeah.
like, wow, where is this? It's,
Yeah.
you know, I've got to start doing it. You know,
It's fantastic, and there's so many trails round, but depending on where you live, you have to look a bit harder for them. Obviously, like I said, I live in the South Lakes, just under the national park, in a town called Ulverston. So for me, I can kind of walk out my door now, and they're right there. It's not really difficult for me. But where I did live in Cambridgeshire, although there were some trails, it was a bit harder to find. And also, if you ever want to find elevation in Cambridgeshire, you haven't got to hope, because it's as flat as a billiard table. But it's depending on where you are, you can find them. There's apps and things and books and sites you can go on.
so
And
yeah.
you
So
just have
what
to look
sort of
for them.
things did you use? What sort of apps or books, or, you know?
So depending on what you've got, there's an app called All Trails, which is really good. It's free to use. I think you can have a paid for one if you want to have extra things, but I just use the free for one. And you basically put in your location, or wherever you want to look at, and it'll suggest you different trails with different, which are for walking or running or whatever, different lengths, and it'll tell you if they're hard or easy or moderate, or give you a map and it'll give you directions and things like that. So that's really good.
So that was
Also,
All
if you
Trails, yeah.
All Trails, yeah.
Yeah.
If you do have anything, if you have Strava, so if people might not know what, I'm assuming everybody knows what this is. Strava is an app basically where you can track your activity. So you'll go out for a walk or a run or whatever, and you'll press start on your phone or on your watch if you connect it to your watch if you've got a smartwatch, and you press start, and it tracks your route. And it'll show you how far you've gone, how fast you've gone, and give you different stats and things like that. And it's also a really good safety tool as well, because you can connect, like I've got Tom down as my contact on it, so that when I start a run, it pings him and says, Marie's gone on a run now. And then if he needs to, he can track me on my route. So if for whatever reason I've said I'm going out for a couple of hours and I'm 5 hours later, don't come home, he can say, right, where is she stuck? It's never happened, thankfully. But, you know, it's there as a safety thing if you need that.
Yeah,
but
no,
also
that's
on
brilliant.
there, you can make routes, and it has heat maps, so you can see where other people have run quite a lot.
Oh, cool.
So you can make your own route, and it'll go, okay, this is a really popular trail, or this is, you know, and it'll show you a line where other people have used.
Oh, cool. So maybe if you email me them, and I can add them on the description of the link.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
you
will
know,
do.
people easy to find it.
Yeah.
So, because, you know, I am going to start. I am going to go out. There's got to be some nice trails around here.
Absolutely. There's some everywhere. You just got to look for them. Yeah, absolutely. But you wouldn't know it. Even me, I go out and go on my runs, and I'll work a route on my Garmin before I go on. So the one I've got shows me on my watch the little line for the route, and it'll tell me directions and stuff. But if I wasn't following the route, some of the trails that I end up down, I wouldn't have known were there, because I would have just walked past the entrance to it or something. So I wouldn't have a clue. So actually going and looking for them and finding them, you find some real good gems, actually.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna start doing them. Have you got a favourite?
That's really hard question actually. Now I do have a favorite local, because obviously there's a hill in Ulverston called Hoard, which is about, I want to say about 400 feet up, but it's just out the back, sort of near where we live, and I have to walk up it because it's so steep on the way up. But I love then running down the back of it, and you go through the farmers' fields with the sheep and everything,
Is
and
that
it's
the one
just
you were
lovely.
herding the sheep?
Yes. Yeah, but it's hard to pick round here a favourite, because there are so many that are fantastic round here.
There's
So it's
one
hard
on
to pick.
your YouTube where there's sculptures everywhere, and I think there was a lot of
Ah,
tree damage or wind
yes,
damage,
yeah,
and that was the one also where you took a wrong turn, or you got
yes.
lost, or
So that's
and you
Brisdale Forest. That
there
actually,
you
good that you said that, because that is one of my favourite, just one of my favourite places. Not even just a run; it's just one of my favourite places. It's a
go. Oh, it
fantastic
looks
place to go.
amazing.
And like you say, there's the nice thing about it is there's fully marked trails all the way throughout it. They've got little posts with different colours on, so you can look at the map and say, right, I want to do the white route or the green route, or then they're all different lengths and hardness and things like that. And you can and they've got posts every so often, so you can just follow it. So you don't really need a map, and you don't really, in theory, as we will find out, it's not true, but in theory, you shouldn't get lost. But it's lovely, and it is such a beautiful place, and they've got one, so it's one of the Wainwrights is in there, which is Karen Crag, and you go right up to the top of it, and there's some fantastic views. And actually that was the first place I went on my own properly, where I just sort of said to Tom, drop me off and come and pick me up in X amount of hours. I'm going off to do this trail on my own and just have an adventure. And that was the first place I'd done that properly. And yeah, I was completely, absolutely loving it. But as you see it, I did still get lost because, and we've gotten lost twice on that route, because I've took Tom back as well, and we tried to walk it, and we still got lost, because there's a 10-mile route which we still haven't completed yet, because now the trees are down, and I'd done most of it and got to near the end, and that I've got a physical map that they give you, and I couldn't find this next post. It's a green post that I'm looking for. Couldn't find the next post. And I'm looking on the map and I'm going, okay, well, it says it's after this sculpture. So I moved, the sculpture's really easy to find. I thought, I've got it here. It must be after this. I wandered around. I went down a random bit and ended up on a road. And I was like, I haven't got a clue where this post is. I ended up having to I just found a place where I knew where it was. So I didn't know where the route was, but I knew where I was. And then just said, Tom, I'll pick me up here, because I can't find this route. Anyways, we went back again, and we took the dogs, and we thought, we'll walk it. We'll find it. The two of us will find this route. Did exactly the same thing again. And by this point, Hawkeye, who's our older dog, we'd done 7 miles at this point, and he just sort of sat down and went, I am not going any further, because you've dithered around now for 10 minutes trying to find where we're going. And I refuse. I've stopped. So we sort of had to make the decision that we were near a road to get to the car park. So I was going to run back to the car park and get the car to bring back to get Tom and the dogs, because Hawkeye just was refusing to go any further. And bless him, he's 32 kilos. It's not like we can carry him. Tom did try, but that wasn't going to happen for very long. Stupidly though, we then found, on the way to where I was getting the car, we then saw someone come down where this route goes, and we were like, oh, it's up there. Now we know for next time.
What have they been saying in the chat, Paul? Have you been keeping an eye on things?
I have, and there's some relevant stuff, and there's some great chat about rice pudding.
Oh, God.
Yeah, if you're into rice pudding and various other puddings, and there's a whole rice pudding war going on here.
Rice pudding would be a good fuel.
Jason loves his rice pudding.
Pardon? Jason loves
Don't
his
like
rice
Jason
pudding.
loves his rice pudding.
Okay. Anything relevant?
Anything
I guess-
relevant to the chat, that's what I was trying to get at. So anything that was kind of relevant to what Marie's talking about, I've been trying my best to post up.
I've seen Tom says, actually, you're not that slow. Because he
He's-
cycled with you, and when you're sprinting, you're quite quick.
so I say I'm slow. It's all relative. Like anybody who's moving is faster than the person who's not. So it's, you know, when I say I'm slower, I might be faster than somebody else. I'm just, I would say on average slower than your average race goer. Let's say if there was a race, I would be in the bottom half of the times rather than not. But yeah, it's all relative. I'm quicker than some people and slower than others.
So he said he chased you around London and he was shattered. What time did you actually do the marathon in?
My first marathon was 5:59, 5 hours 59 minutes.
How many times have you done London Marathon?
So I've done it technically twice because I did it in 2019 and then I did it last year. I also ran in 2020, but obviously that was when it was cancelled because of COVID, so they did it virtually. So I've done it 3 times, but only twice actually in London. But that's the 3 marathons I've done. Yeah.
And then I see the chats just talking about Jason's dinner.
Yeah.
Shepherd's pie tonight then, Jason, yeah?
Marie, have you ever done the trail that goes all the way up to the slate mines?
Oh, are you talking about Honister?
Yeah. Does it go from Windermere or Buttermere? I can't remember which one it is. There's a long road that goes all the way up.
I know it's in I've driven it. I haven't run it.
Yeah.
No, I haven't run it, but like there's so many trails I want to do in the Lake District. Obviously, we've only been here for a short time, and there are like probably more trails than I can ever do in a lifetime. So I've got a list of everywhere that I want to go. The ultra marathon I'm doing is in the Lake District, so that's going to be really good to be able to take some of those routes off, which is nice. But yeah, I really want to do my absolute bucket list will be to do the Cumbria Way, whether you've heard of it or not, which is I think 74 miles, which starts in Ulverston. Pretty much starts out like outside of our door, but almost starts in Ulverston and goes all the way through Cumbria.
How much of that is by car though?
No. You couldn't take a car on those routes.
I know,
it's all through farmers'
fields.
4x4
then. How much is 4x4?
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, that would be my bucket list of my ultimate if I could ever do that. There is a race that does
you've inspired someone to sign up for the Peak Districts Ultra Challenge this year.
Sam, yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to do fantastic.
She's walking because she's got bad knees. See, I would only be able to walk because I've got bad knees.
But that's the thing. The thing is everybody going, oh, to be a runner, I have to be like super quick and I have to run it all and I have to do this and I have to do it. And it just sets expectations that actually most people can't meet. Like I said to you, I'm 37, I'm a bit overweight, I've got asthma, I've got terrible lung capacity. Like on paper, I shouldn't be a runner. But I am because I just do it at my pace. And I will go for hours. I'll like I say, I'll not be super, super quick, but I'll go for hours and just keep going. But also, and the nice thing about trail running and ultramarathons compared to other races is that it's even widely accepted that you can walk as well. Like, you know, you can do run walk, you can walk up hills, you can you know, take a walk break to eat, which is, I think somebody described an ultramarathon to me once was like a walking picnic essentially, because you know.
I like the idea of that.
So I actually think in some ways, although people go, oh my God, ultramarathon, it's so far, in some ways it's actually more accessible because there's much less pressure for pace and having to, you know, feel like that top athlete or whatever to be able to do it.
See, that sounds like my sort of thing.
Yeah.
A walking picnic.
Yeah, it was the snacks that got me.
So what sort of fuel things do you carry to keep you going?
So there's so many things you can use, and it's a very personal thing of what works for you. So for example, I hate you've probably seen gels that, like the quick runners use and stuff. I hate gels. They don't really taste very nice. I'll take it back. There's one gel that I think tastes nice, which is a company called Goo, which do the puddings and stuff as well. They also do some energy things, and they do one called Campfire S'mores, which is a gel, and it essentially tastes like cake frosting. that one's fine. I can cope with that one. The rest are all gross. I don't digest, but they're also really hard on your stomach. And I do have stomach problems as well. I've got IBS, and I have to find things that are a bit more delicate on my stomach. But it's really, really personal to what works for each person. So if I'm doing something like a shorter race, maybe it's a half marathon or a marathon, I'll use things like, so I have some gel thing, like they're little they're sweetie type things, and so like these are High Five gummies, and they just taste like, I don't know, wine gums or something, but they've got like added, you know, electrolytes and things like that in. And then I really like this company called Veloforte, which sounds a bit posh, but they're really nice, and they do like, they're almost like little Turkish delight squares, but different flavors, and again they've got like added, you know, electrolytes. So I'll use them on, I'll use them on shorter races. I'll use them on longer ones as well, but on longer ones I'm going to need more than just those, because if you're out there for 6 or 7 hours or whatever, or longer, which is what I will be in the ultra, having some sweets is going to get really tickly after a bit, and you need something else. So there's special things that I'll have which are specifically designed for people that are doing races and stuff. Like the same company that do the gels do some bars, like there's a Veloforte bar that's got red berries, almonds and pistachios. It's an energy bar, so you've got like carbohydrates and things in there as well. Got Cliff bars that have nut butter bars. It's got peanut butter in, and I also love a bit of Kendall mint cake is also good. But these are all the specifically designed things. You can also, again, depending on what type of race you're doing, if you're just doing a 10K, I'd say stick to that type of stuff, or a half marathon. If you're doing something longer, trail or ultra, you can have proper food as well. So like a slice of cold pizza, some malt loaf, a cheese sandwich, a bag of salted crisps, because actually you need the salt because you're going to sweat a lot and you really need to replenish the salt. So, you know, have some proper food as well, because you need to make in your stomach, and there's something in your stomach to keep going. You have to have that energy. If you're out for 10 hours, you can't go on nothing. So you need to have some proper food as well.
So I've noticed you wear this kind of like little waistcoat thing with lots of pockets in, because I can imagine you can't go running with a rucksack on, because that's just going to bounce everywhere.
It just bounces around. So the one I've got is a Salomon one. So this one is, I would say this one's probably a bit more expensive. These ones are about £120 or something. But I invested in that after, you know, knowing what I wanted to do. You can get some, for if you're just starting, or if you just want to have something for walking or something like that, you can get some cheap Russians. There's a really good one from Decathlon, which is like £35. And I've still got it in my drawer. It's my backup, because that's what I got originally. But these are super good, because you've got so this one that I've got is 12-litre capacity, but you can get different sizes. You can get a 5-litre, you can get, you know, different ones like that. But this one's 12 litre. So in my back pouch, I'll have things like a waterproof jacket, some extra emergency fuel, a first aid kit, a foil blanket, different things like that. Just the stuff you put in the back is things that you hope you're kind of probably not going to want to use, but you need to have with you just in case, because at the end of the day, you're out there on your own, in between aid stations if you're on a race, or on your own if you're on a training run. So it's the stuff that you probably hope you don't want to use, but you might have to, so you need to have it with you. So it's in the back. It's not as quickly as accessible, but it's there if you need it. It's also got space for a 1.5-litre bladder for water at the top, so you have the pipe coming through so that you can drink from it as well.
Okay.
And then this one's also got, you've got pouches at the front to put soft bottles at the front for drinking, put all your snacks in, put your phone in, put my GoPro in. There's so many pouches on this. It's all stretchy and everything. I can literally fit so much stuff in here. You know, you cram some gloves down one side, buffs down the other side. Everything you could want, you can fit in there.
I think they would be fantastic for metal detecting, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Instead of a backpack, instead of having to take your backpack off to pull your drink out or your lunch out, you could just have it all stuffed in your pockets.
Have it all there. Yeah. Because that's the thing, is at the end of the day, when you're on the go, you don't want to have to keep, take my bag off and I'll rummage around and see what I want, and it's all there.
Exactly.
And who makes that, Marie?
This one that I've got,
put up in the link.
This one that I've got is Salomon.
Solomon.
Yeah, which is spelled Salomon.
Hmm.
But there's, like I said, there are so many. The thing with any kind of running kit is there are so many different brands, and it's finding what is most comfortable for you, because everybody's different shape and size, and something that works for me will probably will rub on someone else on their waist or something, and various things like that. So it's just about trying to find things and try them on, and
Well, if you
find
can
what
send
works
us
for
a
you.
link to that one, then I'll
Yeah.
put that in the description as well. So
Sure.
since we're talking about running kit, you might as well give us the lowdown on the rest of the kit that you would use, or what you wouldn't leave the home without. You're just everything.
I think the things I don't leave the house without, so even regardless of whether I'm going on a long run or a short run, the two things I think that three if you include my phone, but that's like not specialized kit, but the three things I don't leave out is I have some headphones that are bone conduction headphones, if you've ever heard of them. So what they actually do is they sit over the top of your ear, and they sit just here rather than actually in your ear. So you can have your music on, or your podcast, or whatever you're listening to, but you can still hear the outside around you. So you can still hear the traffic. You can still hear if someone's talking to you. So it's for safety. They're really good, rather than having earbuds in or big headphones on, not being able to hear anything. It's not ideal. They're also waterproof as well, and they're Bluetooth, so they're not got wires hanging everywhere. So I always like to listen to something on my walks and runs and things, unless I'm with somebody, obviously. So they're fantastic. The other thing I don't leave without is my watch. Some people don't like facts and figures, and and although I don't get hung up on pace, I do like to see how far I've gone and what sort of elevation I've done and things like that. And like I said about the safety features earlier as well, so even if I'm going on a short run, I'll have those, whereas I might not take my pack on a short run, but obviously I'll take them on longer ones. And then obviously you've got your shoes as well, and I've said about there's different various you can get cheaper versions of things for if you're just starting, or if you can't afford it or whatever. There are lower cost options. However, the one caveat I will say with that is spend the money on the shoes if you can, because if you
get what you pay for
with shoes, absolutely. And I would also say with shoes, until you've found the ones that work for you, go into a shop, get some advice off some people that are the experts that are in there. Let them do your gait analysis on the treadmill. Have a go. If they'll let you run around the shop in them, things like that. Have a go, because until you put them on, and in fact sometimes until you've run a bit on them, but you don't know until later. Until you put them on, you just don't know. So going on the internet, and one of the most common things I see people do on Facebook, oh, can anyone recommend some shoes? And it's like, what I will recommend you for shoes will be completely different to what necessarily will work for you, because that's the most, I would say, individual thing. What's not going to rub or will support you. So for example, my road shoes, I use Saucony's, and they're support ones, because I have very, very flat feet. And I need something that gives me a bit of support inside the shoe, whereas a lot of shoes are what they call neutral, so they don't have that added support in them. But the ones that I have got a slightly bigger toe box, so where your toes are at the front, because although I've got thin feet, because I've got flat feet, when I press down, your toes then splay, which means that you need more room in your shoes. Otherwise, you're going to get blisters and things like that. Because you'll find a lot of people say, oh, you once you're a runner, you'll get black toenails and they'll fall off and things like that. If you have the right fitted shoes, they won't. But people don't always do
I'm not
that.
going to be running, I'm going to be walking, so I'm all right.
even with walking, and I would have, like, the good thing to do is to go up a size or half a size to give your feet room to expand, because when you walk a lot or run a lot, your feet swell. So something that feels comfortable while you're sitting in a shop, you need to go up that little bit more. There should be, like, I think it's like a thumb's width between your toe and the front, because it just needs that little bit room. Because when you've been in your shoes for a long time, you'll notice it yourself, your feet are going to swell. And if you're then walking a lot or running a bit, it's going to then batter off the front of the shoes, and it's going to hurt your toes, and you're going to get blisters, and there's not going to be room in there.
See, I wouldn't have known any of this.
Wow. There's so much in it.
But That's why you should go to a
Unless-
shop for the first ones. When you found what the shoes that work for you, buy them online cheaper if you can, or whatever. But
Yeah.
to start with, go in that shop and say, right, give me some advice, help me.
Right, I will do. But I didn't realise, I didn't know about black toes and all that.
Yeah. If you don't get because if you don't, this is going to get gross, but if you don't cut your toenails down, so especially if you're going to do a long walk or a long run, cut your toenails as short as possible, because otherwise your toenails are then going to hit off the end of the shoes, and then they'll get black and blue and things like that. So feet care is important.
Does that mean you have to have occasional pedicures, or
Uh,
you
I'm
just take a gamble and get the shoes that you need for your feet, Joe?
Yeah, I think I tend to you can do, and actually it's nice sometimes to give a little bit of a pamper if you need to, but yeah, I tend to just get the right shoes.
Crazy.
So, tell us, what's been your biggest challenge?
Well, I mean, London Marathon was the biggest challenge because, as I said to you, that was a huge jump up for me, and it took me such a long time, and yeah, so that was the biggest challenge so far. I say so far because we
I
have
was going to
something bigger
say,
coming up.
so yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about this ultra and the charity that you'll be running and raising money for and awareness about. So yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so so basically I decided I wanted to raise some money for the Cambridge Rape Crisis Centre. I'm a survivor myself, and they helped me, and I thought, right, I want to raise some money for them. What can I do? Running is my thing, but I've already run 3 marathons at this point, or 2 marathons. I was just about to run my third one. What can I do that's next? And I'd always kind of wanted to do an ultra, but for me it seemed like it was really, really far off doing that. But I thought, well, that's the next thing. That seems logically to me like the next thing to do, because that'll create the challenge, because it's all well and good me saying sponsor me, but if I'm only doing something that I've already done before, it's not as much, not that doing another marathon wouldn't have been hard, but it wouldn't be as much of a challenge because I know I can do it. So it's like, right, I want to do an ultra. Now technically an ultra marathon is anything over marathon distance. So marathon distance is 26.2 miles. Ultra marathon is technically anything over that. So it can be 30 miles or whatever. So a lot of people start at the 50k mark because that's sort of the normal, maybe it's the normal next progression, I'd say.
Okay, but you don't want to go normal,
I do.
you?
Well, I mean, there was a specific reason for doing it. So when I started looking at ultras, there was a specific company I started looking at, which was the Threshold series, because I'd heard really good things about them, and I thought, right, I'll maybe do one of those. And when I started looking at where the locations were for the race, there was one of them in the northeast of England. Now, you may be able to tell by the accent, I'm not originally from Cambridge or the Lake District. I'm originally from the northeast of England. I think my accent's gone quite a lot. Some people doesn't think that, but I think it has. But there we go. So I wanted to do the one in the northeast because I wanted to make some good memories up there, and see it as that, like, this is my stake in the ground, if you like. This is me claiming everything back for myself. So I thought I want to do the one in the northeast. The one in the northeast happened to be 100k over 2 days. So I was like, okay, let's just do it. I messaged my friend, who's one of my best friends, who at the time hadn't even run her first marathon because she was running the London Marathon last year at the same time as I was. She's a lot quicker than I messaged my friend and I said, this is what I want to do. Do you want to come with me and run it at my pace? Don't feel any pressure, but I'm going to do it anyway. But
Sorry, Phil's just being cheeky. He said he's got subtitles on.
It's really gone down to what it used to be. Yeah, so I said, do you want to come and do this with me? Blah, 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 blah. And she just sort of went, yes, let's do it. So that was us. We were doing it. And I did want to run that one specifically, which was Race to the Castle in the northeast. Now, unfortunately, that one about 2 weeks ago got cancelled because we had the big storms in the beginning of the year. There was, I think, 2 or 3 in quick succession, which battered the northeast, absolutely battered them. and they are struggling to even get the trails cleared and stuff. So basically they took the decision that they could not guarantee that the trails were going to be cleared in time for the race. So rather than cancelling it last minute, they would give I mean, to be fair, it still wasn't really enough time for me because I had my cottage booked and everything, and I couldn't get a refund on it and all this background stuff. But they did give us, you know, I suppose, what was it at the time, 8 weeks notice or something. So that was cancelled. So we were like, oh, what are we going to do? We're 11 weeks into our training plan now. We could defer to next year, but I don't want to just, like, we've wasted the training. I'm already fundraising. We're kind of geared up for this. You know, we want to still do one. So we spent about a week looking to try and find another one to do. The other ones in the series of the same company were all really far down south, and it was like going to be extra costs because I had to book more accommodation and all this stuff. Anyways, we eventually found another one, which is 2 weeks after our original date of doing one. So it's on the 11th and 12th of June. It's in the Lake District. Again, same format, 100 kilometers over 2 days. So the training doesn't go to waste. I get an extra couple of weeks training in there. Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
You know,
but
at least you found another one, you know, that you were
so
able to book on.
Absolutely. So we got on that one. I am still going to do Race to the Castle. I've said to Tom, sorry, Tom, but I will have to go through all the training again because I am going to do that next year because I did specifically want to do that one. So I am going to defer to that one for that race anyway and still do that one next year. Unfortunately, I don't think my friend will be able to do it with me next year because she's going to be moving. So I'll probably be doing it on my own. But I'll have already done an ultra by then, hopefully, so it won't be as scary to do your first one on your own. So I'm still going to do that one. But for this year, for our fundraising, like I say, raising money for the Cambridge Rape Crisis Centre so that they can help some more people like myself. We're going to run the Lake District Ultra Challenge, 100 kilometres over 2 days. And for anybody that sort of knows the area, yeah, it's 100 kilometers. So whether you do kilometers and miles, it's 62 miles or 100 kilometers, depending on what you do. There's also which me and Tom had a bit of a laugh about the elevation the other day because I said to him, I've just looked at the elevation chart, and I said, there's this amount of elevation on there, and he went, oh, that's not very much. That'll be all right, won't it? And I was like, I'm sure it was a lot. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sure it was. Anyway, it got confused because I'd said feet to him and I'd actually meant meters. So I'd said 2,500 feet and it's actually 2,500 meters. So he was like, oh God, that is a lot. That's actually like, so that's just over 8,000 feet. Yeah. And so he went to me, he said, oh, because we've climbed up Catbells before, which is one of the mountains in the Lake District. And he was like, oh, so is that like climbing up Catbells like each day because it's over 2 days? I went, no, I think it's a bit more than that. I said, I think might be actually climbing up Catbells twice each day. Anyway, I went and looked back. It's not. It's climbing up Catbells 4 times each day. So there we go.
Wow.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
So you've managed to book accommodation and everything like that because obviously.
Well, so thankfully it's not far from where we live. So we're going to stay at our house. So my friend's going to come and stay the night before and the night after. On the night between, so we're doing the Saturday and the Sunday. On the Saturday night, we're going to be camping at their halfway point for the night in between. So I mean, I doubt we'll get very much sleep on that night anyways, but yeah, we're going to be camping on that night.
Wow, that's going to make the next day hard.
Yes, I mean, I don't think it'll be any easier either way, to be fair, but yeah.
Well, no, yeah. So you've got a GoFundMe page.
Yes.
That I've put the
just
link
given.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've put the link in the description below. So if anyone wants to go and have a look, I've also put the link for your YouTube, and I guess you're going to be documenting every single step of the way.
Yes, yeah. So the plan is at the minute I'm doing a weekly video to show my training leading up to, and then I'm also then going to obviously do videos for the actual day as well. Tom's going to come along and get hopefully some pictures of us and some drone footage and different things like that. If anybody watched the London Marathon video, maybe something like that with him doing a bit of spectating stuff as well. It's just interesting to see it from the other side, as well. So I mean, essentially he makes all my videos. When I first started doing the thought of doing YouTube, I was like, oh, I can't do that. Like I've always been happy to talk to people like we are now. I'm happy to do that. And I've always been, if you could stand me in front of a room full of people, I'm happy to do that because I can see people and it's fine. But if anybody ever shoved a camera in front of my face, I would be like, oh God, what do I even say to a camera? You know, it's weird.
Yeah.
And Tom sort of convinced me to do it. And I was like, well, okay, I'll do it, but you'll have to make the videos. So that was kind of it. Now he's just my like editor in chief. So
Cool.
I go and make them and hand in the SD card and say, here you go.
That's cool. That's very handy. I need an editor.
Yeah.
So what will you be doing after you've done all this? Then where will your channel go? Will you be looking for the next challenge? Will you,
Yeah, so I mean, like I said to you, I'm gonna do the other ultra next year as well, and I kind of feel like, and it's probably maybe premature because I've not done my first ultra, but I do feel like the ultra community and running is kind of where I want to sit because it fits me better.
Yeah.
So I feel like I will want to do some more of those, and also I'm going to be exploring the Lake District now that we're living here. So I'm going to try and explore as much of that as possible.
And you'll be videoing all that?
Yeah, so it'll probably change
Yeah.
format, as in I might not do a set weekly video like I do now, because this is specifically for the training to help try and do some fundraising and things like that and track it. So it might look a bit different in that sense. It won't be like week 11 this, week 12 this, whatever. But I'm certainly going to try, and any new or exciting routes that I go on, or beautiful scenery, or anything like that, try and get all that in there. So it might look a bit different, but that's what I think I'm going to try and do going forward. And obviously if I sign up for any races.
So we just had a question in the chat. How do you chill after a big run? And if anybody else has any questions, please put them in the chat.
First thing I do, obviously, first thing you should do, I'm not always very good at doing it, but the first thing you should do, and if I remember, is to stretch when I get back. Stretching is very important. I'm a bit of a rubbish sometimes for not doing it always, but you really need to, because when you don't, you do notice it. But yeah,
I was going to say, do you notice the difference? Because
yeah, you do. Yeah,
a lot of people jump in ice baths or have cold showers and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, no,
just stretching.
So a stretch, but then what I do have is I do have a bath, but I have a hot bath, because there's mixed theory about whether cold bath or hot bath is better, but essentially it's whatever you find relaxing is better, essentially. So I have a hot bath with I put a lot of magnesium flakes in it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which helps your muscle. It's Epsom salts that I used to use, but then I got a tip from a different ultra runner that they used magnesium flakes and it worked better. And actually, since I've used magnesium flakes, I have a really long bath with it afterwards. I make sure I'm at least in there for like 30 minutes. I know people with kids like laugh at me and say I can't do that, but that's why. But I have at least 30 minutes in the bath, and then yeah, so I'll sit there and I make because I used to not like having a bath, because you'd be like, I'm bored, so I normally would take in like my iPad and watch like an episode of something just to make me sit and stay in the bath with the like I say, the magnesium flakes or whatever. And so usually by the time I've then got out of the bath, I'm feeling a bit better, my legs are a bit more alive, but the main key thing is to make sure you do have that little bit of a chill out afterwards, because I have made the mistake before of I'll do a really long race or a run or a whatever, and then I try and cram too much in and I don't stop. I'll sort of have a quick shower, shove something in my face to eat, and then try and go back out again. And then you'll come overall feeling a bit queasy, and you're like, oh, I need to sit down, and it gets a bit, so you do have to give yourself that bit of time after it. So I find having that, being able to just sit in the bath and chill out, not only helps my legs, but helps you sort of settle a bit.
So not surprising, Tom's asking, who's your favourite metal detectorist?
Oh, Giga Bleeps.
Ah, you were wrong, Tom.
I mean, obviously, treasure hunting with Tom.
No. He thought you were going to say Marcus.
Ah, it's because he's not here. That's why I didn't say Marcus.
Oh, that's brilliant.
We
Funny.
do watch a lot of the Marcus's videos. Actually, he always laughs when we tell him this, because me and Tom tend to watch Marcus's videos before we go to sleep because it's quite relaxing.
Oh yeah, no, Marcus is brilliant. He is good. We enjoy his videos, don't we, Paul? Paul, do you have any questions?
I do. And it goes back to trails and stuff like that, Marie.
Yeah.
And having grown up in South Wales and lived there until I was about 19 or whatever, we used to frequent Story Arms, which
Okay.
is right at the foot of Pen y Fan Mountain. And, you know, it's historically where the SAS trained and all that kind of stuff. If you thought about running up there along that incredible trail that just goes well over the Black Mountains in South Wales.
There are so many places I would like to share. Wales is one of them. Tom actually keeps saying that he would love to go camping in Wales. So one time we will definitely, we would be heading over there. So there's certain places in the country that I think just have that draw of that epic scenery and trails, aren't there? And Wales is, you know, that area is definitely one of them. So yeah, I'd love to do that. Yeah.
It's pretty vertical, mind. So you'll enjoy. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
So I really do appreciate you taking the time out to chat with us today or this evening.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been fun.
And I wish you all the luck, and I hope you
Thank
don't
you.
ache too much.
Langors, that's it, Tom.
I'll carry on watching, and hopefully then maybe after you've actually completed your race, or you know, we could have you on again, and you could tell us all about it.
Yeah.
You know, and
Have a
maybe
blow-by-blow
Tom,
account.
and maybe Tom could join you as well. Maybe.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's got tons of good metal detecting things to show you, so he would be a good person to talk to for sure.
So hopefully Jason's put your, because Jason's very good, and hopefully Jason's still here. He's very good at
Jason's
putting.
been pretty proactive in posting people's links. So
Yeah, so hopefully he's put Maria's link
cheers, Jake.
in, and everyone's jumped over and given you a sub. That would be fantastic.
That would be fab.
And I know you want to do a duck race.
Yes, I've got a couple
So
of
before
little
you go, let's do
freebies
a
to
duck
give away.
race.
I've got 2 buffs. Buffs actually was something we didn't talk about, and I don't know why, because it's an essential piece of kit for anybody. If anybody does watch, I'm just trying to find an open one because these ones are sealed packets, so I don't want to get them out. So I'll get one of mine now. If you do watch Tom's videos, you'll notice he wears these quite a lot. So even if you don't go running or walking or whatever, even you just doing your metal detecting, these are fantastic to have. So it's essentially, you know, some people call them buffs or neck gaiters or whatever, but it's essentially a big, like a scarf.
When I used to be in a motorbike club, we used to call them bag 'em and shag 'em.
Why?
Because you put it over
there you
your
go.
neck, you can put it up to here.
I love these
Or
reveals.
you can
I
put it
really
up
do.
to there. So
Oh
you
my
bag
God.
'em and shag 'em.
I see. Okay. Right.
There you go.
But they are a pretty actually essential piece of kit for a runner to have in your pack, because you can use it to keep your neck warm, you can use it to keep your face warm. So if it's cold, or if like me you've got asthma and it's cold, it's sometimes handy to breathe through some fabric to warm the air up before it hits your lungs. You can put it, you'll notice on most of my videos I've got one around my head because it stops the sweat and keeps my hair in place. You can use it as an emergency hat. One of the best things you can do is wrap it twice around your wrist, and there you've got an instant sweat band, or it's not rag, depending on what you want it for. But they are super versatile whether you run or not. So I've got a couple of those brand new sealed in packets to give away.
Okay. If you want to enter the giveaway, I don't know if I can grab people's names. I need someone to talk me through grabbing their names. Paul, do you know how to do it?
Well, yeah, and we've got 20 people viewing.
Yeah.
And according to participants in chat, we've got 11. So there's 11 people participating in the chat. So cut and paste the participants into the duck race and let it go.
We've got some shy people not chatting.
So I've only got 9 people because I've just gone over to YouTube because I thought, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this, but I am going to be able to do this. So if you want to enter the giveaway, please put a comment in the stream. Just say, yes, I want to enter. I'll refresh this in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, hopefully that'll update itself and increase the figures a bit.
I've just seen Tom comment to say he wants to win just to annoy me. Well, at least I won't have to ship it, I suppose.
So we've got 10 now.
Yeah, just refresh your mind. Let's just see what we got. I got 11.
Okay. Let me go back, refresh it again, one more time. Yeah, I've got 11.
Just while Roseanne
Tom's now in there.
Just while Roseanne is organising that, there was a question from Scotty Diggers UK, and he wanted to know what that little thing was on your curtain there.
Little thing on my curtain.
Yeah,
oh,
that little
here.
thing on. Yeah.
It's a Mickey.
There you go, Scotty. It's a little Mickey.
It's a little Mickey.
There you go. Cool.
Oh, I've got 21 names in the list. Don't know how that's happened, but there you go.
Some people run. I think some are going to swim twice.
We'll see. Share screen. Duck race. Here we go. Am I sharing?
You are indeed. Yeah.
So we can.
Okay.
Do you want to do 2, or do you want to have a first and a second?
Let's do 2, shall we?
Okay. And Tom's just messaged me as well. So first prize not only gets a buff, but also gets a Roman coin. So the first one.
Oh, well done.
Because Tom just messaged me. So one is the first one is a Roman coin and a buff, and the second one is a buff.
Well done.
There you go. They should have entered then, shouldn't they? If anyone hasn't.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. So the first one is a Roman coin and a buff.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope I win.
Oh, Griff's going out in front.
Oh. Am I even in it?
You're there.
Oh,
you're there.
yeah, I'm there.
I'm not, but you are.
Are you not in it, Paul?
No.
Oh, Giga Bleeps is coming up front.
That's all right. I'll blow the whistle at the end.
I can't believe you're not in it. Did you not make a comment?
Yeah.
Well, you know, should have done as yours. You snooze, you lose. I want that Roman coin.
It's your Roman coin.
It's your Roman coin.
Oh dear. He's not having it if he wins. He's not. He'll go to second place.
Oh, you're not in it either. Okay. Well, everyone's making comments now, so let's make this one just for the
just for the buff. We'll do this one just for the
buff. And then the next one is for the buff and the Roman coin. So keep on commenting and there'll be more in it next time. So Paul, if you want to get in it, you better comment. Who's
Not
going to win?
happy.
Who's going to win?
This one's for the birth. Who we
Oh,
got?
more
Philip Wills.
One's
Philip
birth for
Wills,
you.
you are so lucky. So, how are they going to get in touch with you? Tom, can you put the contact details in the chat, and that way everyone
Yeah,
knows?
pop my email address in, Tom.
And Philip, send her your address. Should we just give them a week to send them your address, their address?
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Right. Now I'm going to go back to YouTube, refresh it. Participants.
In fact, while you're doing that, I'll stick my email address in. Sorry if I know lots of people have put comments on there, but it's on my other screen, so I haven't been able to reply. So I'll reply to everybody afterwards.
Right, I've got 15 in there now. This is for a Roman coin. Copy.
And a birth.
And a buff.
And there's my email address in the comments.
So I'll also, right, let's stop that one. Let me show everybody. Share screen, YouTube. There you go. So here we have, I need to, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 in there. I'll refresh it. Have a look. And I'm just going to grab them.
Even in JP, how you doing?
Copy. JP's in there.
JC should be in there. John Clayton, you should be in as well, my friend.
JC's in there as well.
Yeah.
So stop sharing that one. And let's now go to the duck race. Can everyone still hear the quacking?
No.
No, not at the
Oh,
moment.
I can hear it.
You can still hear it.
Yeah. There you go. So let's close that down. Because
Yeah, Phil's still floating down the Thames there. There we go. Well done, Phil. On his way home.
names, paste, done. So
There you go.
27 names are in there this time.
Ooh.
Can you
Okay.
see what I see? Let's make it big. Let's do 1 minute 30 names. Oh, I have to paste them in there again. Done. 27. And this is for the neck buff.
Yep.
And
a
the Roman
coin.
And a Roman.
Good luck, everybody.
Absolutely.
Oh, let's supersize the screen. And off we go.
Go, go, go.
Go, go, go. I want to win.
Oh, look at the duck that Giga Bleeps has got. That's really funny.
Better start cheering on your own duck. I usually just have a plain duck, but I've got a purple one this week. Hey, Marcus. Did you join in time? It's notched to 11 in the
Oh,
race.
I don't think he got in it. I don't think he got in it.
Oh,
He
sorry,
joined just
Marcus.
after. Snooze, you lose, Marcus.
Yeah, sorry, Marcus. Snooze, you lose. Oh, Miss Jose.
Tom's coming through.
Viking.
Tom's coming through at the top there.
You can
Hi,
stay away, Tom.
Marcus.
That's it.
Someone get the air rifle out and shoot that duck. What would you have won, Marcus? You'd have won a Roman coin and a neck buff.
Yeah.
Unlucky.
Oh, there's
Oh, look,
a
JP.
lot of bargy going down the
There is.
bottom there.
Oh, look, JP.
Oh,
Oh,
there we go.
No.
Nice
Griff's
drop back.
coming through.
Oh,
Griff's
look.
coming
Who's gonna
through.
come through?
Norman found.
Well played.
No, it's Northern. That's fantastic.
There you go. So, Tom, if you can put the email again in the description or in the chat, should I say? And well done. Congrats.
Yeah. Send us an email, both of you, and we'll get the buffs and the coins sent out. Thanks very much. That was fun.
It's been a pleasure. Now, I know you
Thank
have
you.
to go and walk your dogs.
I do.
I'm surprised they've been really good, haven't they?
They have been really quiet. I think it's because I'm at my work desk. They know normally that's the time to be quiet. But I have got Sirius sat here looking at me like, "Come on, Mum, this is getting ridiculous now."
So thanks very much. Good luck.
Well done,
Thank
Marie.
you.
And
Thanks very much.
I'll carry on.
What's the names of the dogs, Marie?
We've got. Are they both here? No, they're not. I've got Sirius, which is the younger one, and Hawkeye, which is the older one. Told you I'm a total geek.
So if we shouted out their names, would they respond? Would they get excited and come and say hello?
Thankfully, I have my headphones on.
There you go then. We'll leave that for another time.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you.
Right, so we'll chat soon and we'll organise
Thanks very
another
much.
date for a catch up. And
Absolutely.
good luck.
That was
Good
great.
luck.
Many
Thank
thanks,
you.
Marie. Really
Thank
exciting
Thanks,
you.
stuff.
guys.
Well done to you.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Woo!
Oh, she was fantastic.
My God.
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Flashing red lights, driving at night, windowless ride, feeling alive. Nothing in sight, forever in flight. Follow those lines, we'll make it this time. Blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories that we'll make it tonight. Oh yeah, we'll make it tonight. Yeah. I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move. I'll go all night if that's just what I gotta do. Life's too short to care about what you